All right. Good morning. Good morning. Shaky, good night. John, good to have you all back. Yeah, Shaky, I'm thinking, looking at gold as a 3-day setup. The consolidation down low and the breakout to go higher is interesting. You know, as far as price action goes and price movements, the way that it's consolidated and gone back to a previous day's high, which could be a higher high. You know, we could see gold going higher. That's not really the setup that I would be looking for, though. I'd be more looking for the Monday was breakout day 1, Tuesday made a lower low. It's like a 3-day pump for a dump. I'm just not really sure that that's going to be great. The chart is not for any instrument right now today. Not really looking. In my opinion, it's not really looking the best for a lot of things. All right. So we're going to talk about some things. The music went by very quickly this morning. I was trying to get all my things set up and ready to go. All right. But just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express supply warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Please feel free to read this. That way we know. Great. Okay, so starting out on the NASDAQ, and I've gone through this morning and kind of made my annotations. Appreciate that, Artie. It's good to be here. I've got my annotations up here just so I don't go too fast and miss some things. Okay. Previous week's high, we've triggered that as of yesterday. We've actually broke out of that. And I'm still keeping in mind the breakout from last week. We broke out and closed down here. Actually, let's go to a 15. It makes it a little bit easier. Right? We had a previous week's level. We broke out. We've now gone back to the high. You know, it could very well break out and continue to climb. Okay, I just want to point that out. And there's even a good chance that does happen. All right, but it's my job to look for setups and not necessarily like movement per se. And I can just look and see what could happen based off of the information that's being provided, and then make a decision on if I think there is a setup forming and developing. So what kind of setup could I be looking for here on the NASDAQ? We do have 3 days of breakouts going higher, which would tell me to then look for a lower low or maybe some sort of 3-session setup. So right now, the only thing that the NASDAQ is doing is continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. Okay. All right, we've rallied to a high. We've pulled back in excess of 2 bars, creating this as a valid swing level. We've broken that swing level, creating this as a valid higher low. And that's all I have on this. I really don't have anything further than this. There's no complicated anything or really larger assessment. Market go up. Market continue to go up. Market continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. US 30. I'm going to zoom out. Again, we've hit the previous week's high on this. Kind of different than the NASDAQ as far as we rallied to a low, or we capitulated to a low. This is almost kind of a first green week, actually. And then this week now going back and triggering previous week's high and breaking out and continuing to go higher. So again, in search of setups, we've rallied outside of a previous day's high by 3 legs as well. So the only setup that I could actually look for would be day 3, 3 sessions of breakout or 3 sessions. It really wasn't 3 sessions, but we do have 3 legs outside of a range, which is something that I do like to look for, especially on day 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this as higher high, just to give myself some annotations to help me when I'm flipping back and forth. As you all know, I like to just be able to come back to something and know exactly what I was looking for. or waiting for. All right. So again, really don't think too highly of these two. I think this is fantastic. It's been going up. Would I be willing to go long? No, that's not a setup that I take. Okay. So let's go to gold. So gold, this is one you probably all heard me talking about just now. And again, I really don't have very strong thesis or very strong opinion about any of these. I do think there's some possibilities, but as far as like when I look at the levels have been triggered, great. When I look at the actual chart, I'm kind of just like, it's a little lackluster. It's not really beautiful or perfect. Maybe in hindsight it'll become perfect, but all this chop down low and then we've rallied to possibly a higher high. It's going to be hard to tell. So I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about on gold, what I'll be waiting for. But I just want you all to keep in mind that I don't think very highly of it. All right. Which could maybe change in an instant, but we'll see. All right. We got a first red breakout day 1 on Monday, and that is also the opening range for the week. So I'm going to project this level across. We broke out of Friday's low, and we closed. Okay, which puts us in breakout down. Fantastic. Okay, then we have Tuesday. We have a breakout that fails. This could even possibly be, a first green day. We've broken down. We've gone sideways. We tried to go lower. We failed and possibly gave us a first green day. Now today we've broken out and we have higher highs and higher lows. And it looks like we've pulled back just enough here to possibly make a lower low. All right, I don't really think too highly of that level. I think I'm even going to go to a 15, maybe. So what would I need to see? Well, I would need to see very strong continuation at the open. We have pulled back in kind of this 3 push pattern, and that would be a good, first green day trade. We've made a higher high. Maybe, right? We've triggered the level. We've made possibly a higher high on the inside of the week's range. And maybe we're going to go up. Okay. Now, if it was a first green day trap, and I would have to be, this is where my other thesis, my other side of the trade, my other thoughts are going to come in. The market has been going up for a little bit, not for very long. We've been going down over here, and then we pop back up, and then we seem like maybe we've broken down. So on the breakdown, we made this lower low here, and then we pumped it back up. Day 1, day 2. Is day 3 going to dump? Okay. Again, I just want to reiterate, I don't really feel very strongly about either of those theses. So I don't really know which one to pick. So I'm just going to wait for the session instead of speculating, and we'll see which one starts to confirm. And if it does confirm, how does it look? Does it look good? Does it look kind of doo-doo? And I'll make a decision on whether or not to actually take it. All right, here's the Russell. Now, the Russell does have 3 sessions of breakout. So when thinking about, what setup am I searching for? What am I actually looking to do? This week was fairly consolidated Monday, Tuesday. We have a huge opening range breakout now on Tuesday. Wow, I wasn't even looking at the Russell yesterday at all. Could anything have told? Nope, nothing could have really told me to look for this. Very well. All right, I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart. So again, what setup am I looking for? What setup am I searching for? It would be counter trend because the market currently right now is going higher, making higher highs, higher lows. So let's track this up. We got 2 bars down outside of the highest bars closed. That's good. All right. Same thing here. We've broken the high. We've closed higher. We've got 2 bars back down, confirming a high. We've broken. We've closed higher. So currently, this is also a confirmed swing high because we got 2 bars down. So right now, this is what it's looking like. This is my higher low is in place. And my higher high is also in place. Okay, why is this important? Why is this relevant? If they break the high and close higher, the swing low is going to be moved higher up to here. And we do have 3 sessions outside, so if they start breaking down, I might be willing to take this back to the close from yesterday, previous day's high. Basically like a stop hunt trade, counter trend. 5 minutes to the open. I'm seeing dollar CAD being thrown up here. Let's take a look at oil. Oil has been on an absolute tear down, hasn't it? What a run. Coming off this high from Wednesday. Looks like we're back down now at the low of the previous week. Low of previous week has been triggered. And again, I just can't do anything with this, unfortunately, because I don't have a template that would tell me what to look for. We might be able to say this is a breakout to the downside. Do I really want to trade something that's already been going down for this long? Could it keep going? Sure. Opening range breakout down. Lower low, pullback. Bottom of the box becomes the top of the box. Maybe we see continuation, but I think I would be trading the movement at this point, not the template. So I'm gonna leave oil alone, which could bite me. That's okay. Let's see. I saw CAD first, so we'll go there. We'll take a look. All right, I can see why you said that. Who is that, Jay? I can see why you would say that. Jay, what do you see? I know what I see. Bob, I'm curious, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Was it a signal day? Was it, what was it? Does anybody else see it? Why did I pull this chart up and immediately kind of see something? Yeah. Yep, exactly. We've been going down. Oh my goodness. What a move over here. We've been going down, and we broke out back up to the upside on Monday. We tried to rally higher on Tuesday, which failed. Opening range breakout that has now failed. Are we looking for the other side of the range? Right. We also have the lower low on the inside here. Now, my only problem with this is going to be, as you all know, I like to find things that on the day are making lower lows and lower highs. Does that mean that this higher high, maybe it potentially fails? Breakout, the higher high fails, and maybe we go back to the low? This chart's pretty clean, though. We got 3 pushes to the low. Bit of a consolidation. And a breakout to a higher high. I would be careful with this. But as far as thesis goes, it'd be very easy to say, hey, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I would be careful only because it started making higher highs and higher lows today. Dollar yen. Okay, so that's clean. That's very clean. Good call, Mustang. Yeah, this is very clean. My only problem with this, maybe, is we're already back down at the low of the week, which kind of stinks. But we do have the low of previous week down over here, so I guess we could, be doing that. But this first red day is very nice. I would almost argue, though, that the trade could have happened already in London. If I was going to trade this further, I would have to say bottom of the box becomes the top of the box. We have the low of the day down here. Maybe a lower high. These are some pretty big bars to the low. Would have to be very careful with this. And look at how they've broken out. Okay, so we've got 3 legs to the low. And a breakout. And a retest failing to go lower. That's the only thing. That's my thoughts on this if I was going to be trading this live. All right, so there's 9:30. I'm not going to be trading this live because, I don't trade those instruments, but possibly looking at a fairly lackluster day. It is day 3. It is Wednesday. Lamore, good morning. Something that makes you more resolved to do nothing. Yesterday you made a comment that I would like you to yeah, John, what was the comment? Just watching, not trading. Joseph, why do you feel that way? Do you feel like there's just nothing? Yeah, admittedly, I really don't feel I don't really feel great about any of this stuff. Oh, here we go. Okay. So coming here now, if they pin down through this and they go back up, you know, it is what it is. But if they make the lower low, I might have a setup. Maybe. Maybe. Yep. Artie, I just pulled that up. Possibly, right? It's a possible break-in structure. We gotta wait for that bar to close. For a 15-minute, you know, we're gonna have to wait till 9:45, which is fine because that would actually line up like timing-wise. 9:45 break-in structure, 15 minutes working back up into the high for a 10 o'clock continuation back towards the previous day's high. The timing would work. But there's some things that need to take place, I think, prior to me, you know, feeling really good about that assessment. Yeah, it hasn't closed yet. So I'm going to sit here and stare at the 15. Obviously, I would feel a lot better if the 15-minute bar closed lower. Whereas if the 5-minute bar closes lower and then the 15, you know, we go right back up, that could just be a pin on the 15-minute chart. Not ideal, right? Not really great. I keep seeing natural gas being mentioned. Let me go. This isn't doing what I want to see. So we'll go here, and then we'll go down yonder to the Chattahoochee, and we'll find... Okay. So we got 3 days of shorts, an attempt to go lower and a higher high, and a possible coil at the high of the day, maybe. I would almost be willing to say that, you know, if I was going to be watching this, I would wait for the first green. That'd probably be the higher probability. AK-47 is not going to enter before 10 a.m. Okay. There's the Dixie. Triggered the previous week's high. Gave a first red. This was another good London session trade. Was this CAD JPY? Man, it was really strong. Russell, yeah. Yeah. We'll see, huh? Like I said, very low expectations, but hoping for the best. Ooh. Yeah, that's not what we want to see. If we were going to get a setup, right? $15-minute gold. AK, I really don't have a strong candidate right now. I think that, you know, gold is whatever. I'm telling you right now, after my little thing yesterday and the way that this thing is consolidating right now, and gold you can kind of just tell gold is in a cycle or in a period of maybe low volume or something. Something is going on with gold. And I think we need to wait for that. I need to wait for that condition to change, because every time gold rallies to a new high or something like that, it always seems to go into this extended period of consolidation right now, which is fine. I just don't want to get caught in it again like I did yesterday. Shaky, is that what you were talking about? The consolidation and how it's consolidating? Is that where you were kind of talking about? Waiting for gold to break my 20 to the upside. Okay, so you're looking for a trend trade after first green day, Paulie. Is that what you're saying? Basically going back for the stops, maybe at the breakout level. Maybe. I would say that it's nice, Shaky, to see it consolidating. You know, the bottom of the box or the top of the box could now become the bottom of the box. Maybe this is breakout, pullback. The way that they pulled back seems as if they're trapping the shorts. And then now maybe we're confirming the squeeze. Is that one of my patterns that I thoroughly, what did I just say? That I thoroughly enjoy? Not this one particularly, no. Not to say that it can't be good. And this pullback, this is now, we've just rallied, even on a 1 minute chart, right? We've rallied now to a 1 minute higher high. Ooh, actually, you know what? The higher high might have been right here. We had a low. No, never mind. I mean, it is technically a higher high, but not with my own rules. Now, of course, this is only a 1 minute higher high, so you know, take that with whatever. Very interesting. We're seeing the Russell. Now, this is a decent pattern, though. I will admit, if the lower low had already been made, you know, prior to 9:30, and then we got this little pop up maybe, and then this is happening at 9:30, I would already be in. So it's unfortunate that we're not seeing that, but that's okay. I'll just wait a little bit longer. Why is my phone going crazy? I get like 50 emails at one time. Holy cow. Okay, we just got another 5-minute bar failing to go lower on the Russell. That's unfortunate, if I'm being very honest. I was even okay with the fact that they're all doing different things. Like we got NASDAQ going up, US 30 going up, and then the Russell going down. I don't really care about that. I would have just really liked to have seen a better break. A little bit more commitment. What is oil doing? Let's take a look. No. $9.41, which means that for 15 or so minutes, we have been working the low. Also on a 15, this, whatever I've labeled as a higher high, looks very different than on a 5. I don't know if I really want that to be a thing. Uh-oh. It's very quiet in here today. I'm very quiet today. I really don't have much to talk about. But YouTube tends to get a little sensitive when you use music. Concentration. Yeah, I guess. There's not really much to concentrate on. I've got 2 levels. They need to break. They're not breaking. So I just sit here and scroll back and forth like this. And Daniel Day-Lewis. All right, this is what I've been told, Joseph, when I was probably around 23, 24. The Marines in my unit, they constantly told me, and I went to a course too, and I did not tell these people that people would say this about me, and the instructors told me the same thing. Out of nowhere, said, "You look like a young Patrick Swayze." I was like, it's very strange. They even made they took my uniform and then copied a picture of Patrick Swayze's head on mine, and then they like posted it up in the office. It's like, whatever. Let's see. You say you resemble a young Daniel Day-Lewis. I actually don't know who that is. Let's see. All right, I'll take that. I'll take that. And I'm glad that you said young. Side job is basement dirty dancing. What did he play in? Let's see, life, early education, career. I feel like I'm going to feel really silly when I see what movies he's played in. Please don't yell at me, but I actually don't think I've seen any of these movies. Gandhi, The Bounty, Beautiful, Room with a View. That's funny. Yeah, Roadhouse. I think Roadhouse is top 5 favorite movies of all time. By far. By far. Sam Elliott, you know, Patrick Swayze. The dynamic duo. Nothing but roundhouse kick. Yeah. Yep. The new no. No. It's very hard, I think, to take a movie that was that nostalgic and that it was just good. It wasn't just nostalgic; it was good, right? It was the perfect actors and the perfect cinema, the perfect, the way that they made the film and everything. It was just perfect. And then to try and take that and put your own spin on it is just, it's rough. Now, the second Happy Gilmore 2, I think that that's a different story. They did a very good job of combining nostalgia with also like keeping the same, original feel to the movie. All right, so thinking about trading, we had a higher high. They failed to make a lower low. Now they're going back to the high. Was waiting for a lower low, possibly looking for a 3-session setup back to previous day's high. A lot of people send me these. They'll send me these and say, "Well, there's 3 sessions outside. Why did this not work out?" And every single time one of these doesn't work out, and someone sends it to me, this is the very first thing that I see is, well, there was 3 sessions outside of a range, but that doesn't mean anything. It means something. It tells you what to look for, but it doesn't mean with certainty that it's going to do something. You have to wait for these other, characteristics to play out. And one of the biggest characteristics, or the biggest characteristic, is the structure of the market, making higher highs and higher lows in a market that I want it to go back down. No bueno. This thing is on an absolute tear. Fantastic. Fantastic. And you know what? Gold kind of just looks like it's going to do the exact same thing as it did yesterday, which is play enormous amounts of games. Silver? Is silver a better option, Joseph? Trump is speaking at 11:15. Good Lord. All right. It's good to know. Thank you. Silver kind of looks a little... that looks a little better. Let's see. This one is also broken out. This is really good. It's up there. We've gone back to the high of the week. We've gone back to previous week's high. Okay. Did we trigger previous week's low? No. It's a lot of strength into the high, and then it came back down. I'm gonna skip these. I want to see, did it actually make, based off of my own structural rules, did it actually make a lower low, or is this just a pullback? Because we do have, if we look at the, let's put this up there. So we have the Asian breakout. We're just going to put money at this level here. Right, and then we've got the higher low here, the base. We got a little bit of space coming down, giving the market some room to fall through. We even have a little bit of a ramp. Which could be fuel for the fire on the way down. Oh, yeah. The indices are just on an absolute rampage. I don't want to get in front of that. I do think you're correct, though, Shaky or Joseph. I think that if I was forced to develop a thesis on a metal right now, silver's the better of the two. What's copper look like? Day 1, day 2, day 3. This was got 3 days of breakouts and an attempt to make a higher high, but it was only a pen. High, low, higher high. They did make a lower low inside. I still don't really like that either. What about platinum? Boy, that's very different. Okay. It's all very interesting. We got news at the back side of the week, right? I'm pretty sure like there was a lot. Not a lot, but my thoughts are going to, what are they building for? What are they building this thing up for? We got Wednesday today, no news. Yeah, we already know that. Tomorrow, PPI. That's a pretty big one. Unemployment. And Friday, we've got retail sales. We got a lot of U.S. news on Friday. Inflation expectations, 10 a.m. Consumer sentiment. Retail sales. I think those are all pretty big. Russell just broke out of 5-week trading range. Yeah, that thing, it was in a pretty big range, wasn't it? So basically it broke down. And then now we've gone back to the high of the range. Remember, I always talk about the fact that, if it goes down, it's going to try to go back up. And just, we have to be able to look at it and see how is it doing that? And then does it fail? Gold is moving. Yeah, silver's moving, gold's moving. It's going up. Back to the high. Slowly going towards the low of the day. Yeah. We don't want slowly, though. We want incredibly capitulated. What is Bitcoin doing? I see. This is a nice first green day. Not really a first green day, I guess. Yeah, I know. 40. I even said that I think at the beginning, but it looks nice, right? But in hindsight and looking at it, that was my first question to myself. Was like, yeah, we got a heck of a move yesterday, but what setup would have told me to look for this? I guess we could have said, well, this is a first red day. Maybe it's a trap. We could have traded off the horizontal. But I think that might be reaching. I might be really reaching if I said that in live time. It'd be hard for me to actually believe I had a setup. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Shaky. Market making higher highs, higher lows. We broke out. And if you look at the 15, they broke out, paused, and then you got a 1 or a 2-3. So this the breakout, pause, 2-3, pin hammer high of day, 15-minute. If we do get an engulfment, it'd be good. But we're still making higher highs and higher lows, which is just telling me, like you said, not to trust. It's moved nice in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, it looked like the currencies might have been the move for a lot of things. It looked like there were some good signals on a lot of the currencies. I think that they're building for something. I think they're building for the back half of the week, the news. And just looking at the news schedule, this is something I don't usually look at, but I'm just curious. Okay, we had a bit of volume yesterday. A little bit lower volume today. Continuing to go higher, though. I was seeing to see if they're moving this on light volume. If they're moving it up this high on light volume or whatever. Again, just out of curiosity. $10. So we've got the 10 o'clock new hour coming in. What does this look like? I don't trust any of these things. What's going to be very unfortunate is if they break this, they make the lower low, and then they go straight down to the previous day's high and the close. Because if they do that, this is my target, right? So if they break this and just keep going without any sort of pullback or, allowing me to get in, and they're also coming down very strongly, which is telling me something, because if it stalls here, I mean, this is a very strong move. This is the biggest down close bar on the entire chart. If it fails to go lower, that tells me a lot of information. A lot of information. Do. Oh wow, you all might be really far behind me on the recording. Oh wait, no you're not. I've backed it up somehow. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, shaky. Again, just always looking for setups and I try to ignore the thought of any of that stuff. I think the biggest thing that I think about maybe as far as macro is just, is it setting up for the news? Which will keep me more patient thought process wise. All right, I've got this up on my other screen now. I am watching the NASDAQ. Nice, Sam. Very nice. Okay, we got third bar to the low now on NASDAQ. Yeah, I don't know. Will it bounce? As far as, as far as setups go, this is the highest probability of success right now, as long as it continues to do certain things. It is getting a little late in the session. By late, I mean for me, not for markets. Still no lower low. Everything seems like it's squeezing higher. If y'all can hear Roomba in the background, I'm sorry. No. Swayze with the fancy robots. I tell you what, when you have dogs, that Roomba's a lifesaver. Could I sweep every single day and vacuum every day, multiple times a day? Sure. But that Roomba makes it so much better. My cat attacks. My dogs are scared of it. It's funny. Does trading ever get easy? No, it just gets a lot less stressful. It's never going to be easy. It gets easier. The more you simplify, the more you understand your own process. It removes a lot of stress. $11:15. Trump speaks. Yeah, they said that earlier in the stream. So I started the stream, Rents. I don't know if you were here earlier, but very low expectations. And then looking at the news schedule for the rest of the week, my expectations are even lower because I think that we've got PPI tomorrow. We got really big news events on Friday. There's a very good chance that all of this movement, although it's a little bit tough to trade, not really tradable movement. I guess gold, could have been tradable, just not a setup that I'm used to taking. All of this movement could just be, setting us up for the week or the back half of the week. Go play with low-hanging fruit. Yeah. Yep. And you know what? To be fair, I say I don't really take this setup, and I don't, not very often, unless it was like this. I think that if it was like this, I can see it a lot better. Like, even just flipping this over immediately, I'm like, oh, duh. Right? Duh. We broke out. We got 3 peaks and an engulfment, leaving all the trap volume behind. Engulfment, pin hammer, follow through, continuation, low hanging fruit. Well, darn. That makes a lot of sense. It's just hard for me to see the longs for some reason. How do you flip the chart? There's a little cog or whatever you want to call it down here. You click this, hit invert scale. She flips on over. Just don't forget that you have it flipped. Been there, done that. So we got 1 big bar down, 2 really big bars down, and then we get a pause, and now we're back down to the low on the NASDAQ. If it breaks and closed, great. In fact, if it broke and closed now, because we've got 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on this 5-minute bar, but that will also be the close of a new 15-minute bar, which would be a 15-minute lower low. We still have the level to be targeted down low. If it does not close, if it pins the low and pulls back, or doesn't, or if it just capitulates down and I'm not in the move, I'll see you all tomorrow. But we'll see. We got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The real question is, with me being this hydrated, can I make it and come back in 2 minutes and 20 seconds? I think I can. All right. I'm hydrated. I'm running. I'll be right back in the speed of light. Did I make it? I did. 1 minute left. My dog is so funny. She was sitting outside my door. She desperately wanted to come in here. I let her in. And now she wants to go back out. Nelson. 40 seconds left on the bar. Let's see. Do they push through it? We want music. Dang. I wonder if I need to, you know what? How about this, Jay? Let's do a poll real quick. 69 of you in here. Probably the same 60 to 70 people every single day, which is phenomenal. I want to know. I like silence. See? Okay, we're going to do 2 polls. Bear with me. They pinned the low. That's really upsetting. So we have nothing to watch for right now. All right. I've done the wrong thing. Hold on. We're going to do 2 polls. We're going to start this one first. I'll give it like 30 seconds. I can't type to save my life. There we go. Oh my gosh. I'm trying. The people are hitting me on Telegram here. There we go. They're spamming my Telegram. There we go. I've started this poll. Music or no music? And if I do end up putting music, it'll be very, very, very quiet in the background. I'm going to give it till 10:17. How about I don't care? Okay. Just trying to make the experience a little better, you know? Always trying to make it more, you know, if we're all going to sit here together every single day for an hour, we might as well Make it as educational and enjoyable as possible. 1, 2, gold, 3 back to the high. All right. No music takes it. I don't need the second pull. Mustang, I've been before when I was doing these streams, I had it set to where anybody could, come in here and start speaking, which was fine. It was just frustrating for me because I'm trying to trade, and I am trying to focus, and I am trying to $100 years old. Like, I get it. There's trolls, internet trolls. It's just annoying. It's really annoying. And it's distracting. And then I have to sit here and I have to ban them or I have to mute them or whatever. I don't have moderators on YouTube. So it took away from what I really wanted to do, which is just sit here and chit chat with you all about trading or this or that and like have fun. Like that's what it really is. That's what it boils down to is I could trade by myself and go about my day. But it's kind of boring. It's kind of lonely. So we were coming to the end of a 15-minute bar here, and I was watching this bar come down. And it was down here at one time. And I was saying this is 1 bar down, 2 bars down, and a pause. If this bar would have broken and closed lower, this bar would have been a new 15-minute low as well as a new 5-minute low. I could have looked for a 3-push pullback and a continuation and a follow-through to come down to the previous day's high, which is a playbook opportunity. That's a setup. But there was no follow-through. It came down 1, 2, pause, 3 to the low, and is now in consolidation at the low. It's actually in a 1-bar range. And we've been sitting in this 1 bar's range now for 5, 10, going on 15 minutes, sitting on the inside of this bar's range. That's a trading range. We're now in consolidation. No thanks. Trolls are the worst. Yeah. NASDAQ is going to break. It could. 10:20. I'll go till like 10:30. I'm supposed to meet with somebody on Discord today. No, y'all aren't getting those ads. Whenever I cancel the ads, do you all still get them? Or does it actually cancel? Dollar yen hit my target, then went, or hit my break even. Yeah, absolutely, Paulie. Let's see, you said dollar yen. Yeah, the dollar yen. I'm telling you, a lot of the currencies today looked way better than indexes. We get no ads. That's good. Well, if you have, YouTube Premium or whatever, you won't get the ads. But I try my best just to cancel them whenever I see it, because it tells me, it'll say, viewers getting ads or whatever, and I just click no, Because what if they get ads? They're like 30 seconds long or a minute, and then something important happens and you don't get to see it. It's annoying. No. What about the Mexican peso? No. Why do I even have this one on here? Oh. Well, that's a setup. This is a first red breakout day one on a Tuesday. Opening range breakout to the downside. Breakout in London. Breakout pullback. Only 2 likes on the stream. That hurts. Dang. It's all good. All good in the neighborhood. Dollar. Let's see. We got CAD. No. Aussie dollar. Man, a lot of these, they look okay. What about the Swiss? I think I'm going crazy. There it is. This one actually did what it was supposed to in London. This was the expansion. The lower low was yesterday a first red. Oh, shoot, buddy. Look at that. Oh, the Swiss. What are you doing? That looks good. That looks really good. I mean, obviously not for right now. But as far as like template, previous week's low, rally to a high and a breakout, and then you get a first red, and instead of showing strength the next day, it breaks the low and breaks down. Pops back up 3 legs. And there's that little squeeze pattern. There's that little consolidation before the explosion, giving you that good parabolic explosive move back down to the low of the previous week. Oof. Okay, like I said, okay, we got 3 seconds till a break. There it is. If they just go vertical straight down, I've got nothing to do. So we just got our lower low on the NASDAQ. If it just goes straight down, you know, whatever. The only bad thing about this was it is not a 15-minute lower low. It is only a 5-minute lower low. I'm watching and monitoring the 1-minute chart. I'd like to see, just give me a little pop-up, you know, because we've got the lower low. I just need a little pop-up. Little pullback. Without taking out the level. popping back up just a little bit. Do we get the follow through? All right, I just got out. That's all I needed. That was a good, about 5-10 point scalp. I took it as a scalp, so I did not use a lot of size. And I'm going to show you exactly what I've done. Okay. Now, it could follow through even more, and I don't know if it's going to. But that's not the setup that I take. I take the move back to this level. I would have liked to have got in a little bit higher so that it could have gone a bit further, but, it is what it is. I still had very low risk on the setup, so I'm not particularly upset about it. I think my stop, my risk to reward ratio was a little wackadoodle. But it was a good setup, so I'm not mad. Okay, all that in mind. That's what it looked like. Okay, so this bar, when it popped back up, I short the bar up here. Okay, that was the only pop up that I needed. And then I put a sell stop below here, and it followed through. I got a few more points off of the follow through on that second position. Again, this is very small. Okay, but I was able to have very small risk. And it is just a scalp. Nothing crazy. I only had to hold it for 5 seconds. It was nice. I think I'm going to end here. I'm going to end it on that little scalp. I had very, very low expectations for the day. I didn't even think I was going to take a trade. I didn't know until I took it. Market broke down. Every time a market breaks down or breaks out, it goes sideways. It went sideways. I shorted the bar. I shorted again. It went to the level I got out. Easy. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, as you're leaving, if you've enjoyed, if you got anything from the stream at all, even a little bit, maybe you just saw my dog in the background and you like the dog, could you please like the video on the way out? I do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow, same time, 9:15 a.m. Eastern time, ready to go, ready to trade. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the backside of the week is a little bit better, higher quality of trade. Not so much movement, just higher quality trades. You'll have a great day. Bye-bye.